Alright, guys. I am a bit stressed out by some stuff. But I thought to myself, you know what? Nothing a little Maple Mornings can't fix. So, that's exactly what we're gonna do. It's been a while since I did my last Papa Louie episode. I've just been, more motivated to do other stuff, like, work on my stories, do other Let's Plays. But this is Maple Mornings, one of my favorite holidays next to Valentine's Day, so I figured I'd do a video on the first half of Maple Mornings. And yes, I actually have some stuff I want to talk about with you guys. Alright. But yeah. Oh my god. First things first, just some updates on what's been going on. Unfortunately, no. I still don't have any updates about the Social Security stuff. My dad did say he'll talk to my grandma about it, which I'll technically be getting into here in a little bit. Alright. Alright, Maple Mornings. I love Maple Mornings. It's so delicious. This'll get me in a good mood. Cause like I said, I'm a bit stressed out. And I just have a lot on my mind. Not like depressed, just, worried about some upcoming events, But first, I'll talk about what my dad told me. This past evening. Ooh, whippa. So this weekend we're going to have lunch with my grandparents. Oh my god. I freaking hate when you have to time things just right. Like, come the frick on. There we frickin' go. But yeah, me, my dad, and my brother will be having lunch with, my grandparents. Also my brother's grandparents and my dad's parents. And don't get me wrong, I love going out to eat for lunch, but it does stress me out. When my grandparents are a part of the equation. And the main reason for that is, you know, they like to pray before they eat, and that seems fair enough. It's their business, right? Wrong, because they try to get me and everyone else involved. My dad, he's a Christian too, but he's a lot more mild about it than my grandparents. We don't go to church. We don't pray before a meal unless we're eating with them. But my grandparents, they're very hardcore with their religious beliefs. And very, forceful about them. And, that's why I have a problem. I'm okay with people who simply believe in God. And they use their religious beliefs for the greater good. But, some people do not do that. Some people use their beliefs for the wrong reasons. And unfortunately, my grandma is one of those people. I believe she is LGBT phobic. And, she believes that atheists will go to hell, simply for not believing in God. And, it kind of hurts in a way. It hurts that my own grandma would believe in a God that would damn her own granddaughter to hell simply for not believing in him. And in a way, I feel like people who would support a God like that, they're technically placing him over, your own family. The good news is, last time we went out and ate together. My grandma was understanding. Oh, come on, Akari, you're so picky. I would never tell her I'm an atheist, because we all know how ugly things would get. But, since she is aware of me being on the spectrum, she knows that, physical contact can be awkward, especially in those types of situations. So luckily, she was understanding about me not joining in, because that's another thing too. Some people some religious families kind of just pray on their own. Some fold their hands. But it's even worse. When they try to get everyone to hold hands. At least if they're just okay, fold your hands. It's easier to get out of, and you can still have your own space, if that makes sense. You don't have to be all up on everyone holding hands and whatnot. But yeah, that's the main, you know, that's one of the main reasons, you know, because like I said, I do like going out to eat. I love it, but having my grandparents a part of the equation does complicate things due to their religious beliefs. If it was just them praying by themselves, or, you know, them and my dad, and I don't know, my brother, I don't really know, like, if he really believes, or if he's kind of like the in-between agnostic. That's never really come up, but if it was just them, my dad, and, you know, depending on the situation, my brother, then I would be cool with it, but since they try to get everyone involved, that's what makes me uncomfortable. If it was just them, you know, fair enough. It's their business. But if you try to get me involved in business that I do not want to get involved in, then yes, I'm going to have a bit of a problem. You see, Akari, if Robbie, the closer, gives me a perfect score, so can you. Yeah, I hate to take it. Specials. Ooh. I freaking love the colors in this one. I really love pink, purple, and blue. They're my top 3 favorite colors. I personally love the point specials. My least favorite specials are the ticket ones. I don't mind getting point boosts. I understand why you don't agree anything, because, you know, you don't want to... You want to unlock all the filler customers before Papa Louie. But I personally don't mind it. Because otherwise, sometimes it feels like the game can drag on. Ooh, nice. Payday. Payday. Oh, chocolate covered bacon. That sounds so good. But yeah, that's why I'm apprehensive about going with my parents out to eat. Not parent. Well, my dad, yes, but my grandparents. My mom. I'll get into that a little bit later, but yeah, and last time, this isn't really a factor involving my grandparents, but last time I went out to eat, I had a little bit of an anxiety attack. Yeah, I think it was back in July. Well, me and my dad, we went out to eat at Huddle House a couple of times between then and now, but, you know, I think the last time my brother came, you know, it was with, I believe it was with our grandparents, but, like I said, they weren't really a part of the situation. I think it was before they came anyway. Cause I remember them arriving not until after we came. But, you know, I think it was a couple of weeks after my brother's friend Curtis came over, and my dad brought that up, and he offered my brother to bring more of his friends over, and then I was like, I didn't say it out loud because I'd get in trouble, but I was like, oh shit, and then my dad knew something. I didn't say anything, but my dad knew something was wrong. He asked me if my soda tasted weird. Yeah. He asked me if my soda tasted weird. Yeah, I don't know why he was asking about that. About my soda, but no, my soda was fine. But yeah, I believe that was back in July, because the Curtis rigmarole was in June, and it was before I got my ID in the mail. I had gone to the DMV and, I took my pictures and, took my fingerprint and signed my signatures for it. But it was before I got it in the mail, because I believe you were kind of talking about it. I said that I had a dream that it came in the mail, because I actually did have a dream about it coming before it actually came. So I brought that up. But yeah, that was like I said, in July. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't want my dad and my brother to talk about more of his fuck asses coming over. Hopefully it's just a normal, relaxed family lunch. However, I am hoping that my dad can talk to me, because we're gonna be together anyway, so for at least 45 minutes to an hour, so it'll be a good time for my dad to really talk about it with her. But at first, like I said, I talked about it, but at first my dad was gonna try to take me to get my social security card stuff done. But now he's talking about having my grandparents take me. So I'm hoping he brings that up, and we talk about it, and we kind of get that situated. Although first he'll probably have to set up an appointment for me, and then Nana and Pops can take me. But if he doesn't bring it up, I'm probably gonna leave feeling underwhelmed and disappointed. I really hope we get that underway, even if it's just kind of him, having a talk with him about it and getting the beginning stages of it set up. I really hope so. I'm probably gonna feel sad and underwhelmed, like I said, when we leave. I really hope he talks about it. Oh my god! Sorry, Wally. It's easy to let this stuff spill out of the cup. But yeah, the main reason I'm worried about this weekend, yeah, I think he said Saturdays is when we're doing it, and yeah, he said he'll cook on Sunday. I don't know what he's planning to cook though, so I may not eat it unless it's something I like. But yeah, that's one of two reasons why my mind is racing. The other reason is because I think I overheard my brother talk to our mom on the phone. I got out of the shower and then I heard and you know, I think it was my mom, because, you know, I heard, you know, the voice on the other side of the phone. It sounded pretty feminine. And she was, or no, not her, but my brother was bringing up my dad, Nana, even Zach, you know, our grandma on our mom's side of the family. And then last but not least, I think he also brought me up a couple of times. So yeah. I know, it's probably wrong, but when I know my brother's talking to our mom on the phone, I can't help but eavesdrop. Hopefully you guys can hear me. But yeah, I can't help but eavesdrop when... Ooh, Taru! Because I know I'm probably gonna... A lot of the times I'm involved in whatever the hell my dad is... I mean, not my dad, my brother and my mom, our mom are discussing. And I think she was kind of complaining because I wasn't talking to her. You know how it is. Same old, same old. Because you know, I've talked about this before with you guys. Hold on. I've talked about this with you guys before, but it's hard to maintain contact with my mom for a couple of reasons. Number one, I really struggle with small talk. And she sends me images, and a lot of the times she'll just blow up my phone you know, she doesn't really have good texting etiquette. So a lot of the times she'll blow up my phone with images. And they kind of make me feel uncomfortable as well, because she knows I don't like to stylize my hair, yet she sends me images of me with my hair stylized. I know it sounds weird, but it's kind of inconsiderate on her side, because she knows I've always been uncomfortable with it, yet she did it anyway. And now she still sends pictures of those times. And it just shows me that she doesn't care. And then, you know, like I said, small talk. I mean, if there's something, you know, I really want to talk to her about, or, you know, something to update her on, you know, we can text, we can discuss it easily. But a lot of the times, you know, it's just small talk, you know. She tries to initiate small talk with me, and it's hard for me to really get deep into those conversations. Like, I remember this happened. Oh, I miss you, you know, and then, you know, I don't really know what I'm supposed to say. How are you? So I'll just say something that's appropriate to the main idea. How are you? I'm good. I miss you and I love you. I love and miss you too, you know. It's mostly just the same old stuff. But, like I said, if there's something that I really want to talk about with her, like I said, or update her on, then, you know, it's very easy for us to actually have a conversation proper. But, you know, small talk, you know, I'm just not good at it. You know, my mom is very extroverted, whereas I lean more towards being introverted. And it's not just a matter of her not living with us anymore. She was like this even, you know, when me and my brother were kids, and her and my dad were still together, and, you know, we all lived together. You know, she was, a lot of the times, she was pretty intrusive and stuff. A lot of the times, me and even my brother would secretly wait for her to get out of our room, and yeah, it got awkward and uncomfortable at times. Even my brother, you know, he would like be online with his friends, and there was a time, or, you know, maybe even two, where he would have to awkwardly tell her, I'm with my friends right now, you know, because, you know, you don't want your mommy always, you know, coddling you and, you know, talking to you, and when, you know, when you're talking to your friends, especially if they could hear. It's a bit embarrassing, you know. Are you serious, Akari? You're so freaking picky. But yeah, you know, that's where my mom and I clash. She enjoys small talk. I do not. Oh crap, I forgot the nuts. Well, no nut November, I guess, but I'll just put them on top of the chocolate chips. Sorry, Cooper. Alright. Oh wow, nice and simple. But yeah, it's weird because my mom enjoys small talk. I do not. So a lot of the times she's trying to make conversation and initiate small talk with me. And I just struggle to maintain conversation unless it's something significant to me. And then she's also, and then, you know, there have been times where Chris, you know, I've brought him up before. She's an ex-boyfriend of my mom, and he would keep stealing, like, even to this day, like, he keeps stealing her phone. And then a lot of the times he'll text me, my brother, and even my dad. I believe he somehow got a hold of my dad's office, and he called his office, and I dead ass remember him following my mom to Houston. Yes, he followed my mom, like, Houston is about 3 or 4 hours from Orange Grove. He followed her 3 to 4 fucking hours all the way to Houston. To my mom, I mean not my mom, my grandma's neighbor, you know, my grandma on my mom's side. He followed her to the gate. Luckily, I don't think he made it past the gate, because it's a very secure neighborhood. You have to, like, get the password from someone in the neighborhood to get in. Like, it's a whole thing. But yeah, he's very ugh. He will not leave my mom alone. So sometimes this means I have to keep blocking her numbers so he doesn't get a hold of me. Oh my god, these toppings are so good. But yeah. And my mom has to keep changing her number because Chris keeps getting a hold of his her numbers. So she has to keep changing them. And for some, I think we finally figured it out. The reason my mom's notifications aren't coming in is because she doesn't have an iPhone and I do. So I have to keep manually checking my text history just to see if she texted me, and it can be pretty inconvenient at times. So yeah, there are various, like, just, you know, circumstances working against me as to why I struggle to maintain a proper relationship with my mom. And of course, it's just, you know, we still have a lot of unresolved issues, but, you know, not just in, you know, as a family in general, but, you know, her and I feel like we still have some unresolved issues that they don't involve my brother or my dad. They're mostly just between her and I. Because she's extremely ignorant when it comes to, and insensitive when it comes to certain things about me. Like my sensory issues, me not wanting to wear makeup, and me not wanting to wear jewelry, me being out of my comfort zone. Like, and she has, and she uses really harmful arguments as well against me, like, I carried you for I shared my stomach with you for 9 months, and as long as you live under this roof, blah, you know. I don't like the I shared my stomach with you argument, because it's not like I asked her to. You know what I mean? It's her choice, and it doesn't just go for her, you know, this goes for moms in general. And you know, to an extent, you know, the father. I'm not the one who chose to be conceived. You know, that argument is just very guilt-trippy and manipulative. And then, you know, as long as you live under this roof argument, if it was like, if you were, like, just simply telling your child to, you know, behave, or to comply for safety reasons, that is 100% fair. That is 100% fair enough. But the way my mom used it, back in May 2017, it was during the argument, because I didn't want to go on a vacation halfway across the country. She basically used it in a way that said, as long as you live under this roof, I don't give a shit about your boundaries or your comfort. And you just don't say that, you know. That's the type of that shit will just push your children away when as they get older. It's not gonna make them be like, oh, okay, I guess I just won't think about my comfort or my boundaries because I live with you still. No, it's just gonna push your child away when they don't need to live with you anymore. You know what I mean? When they can live on their own or with someone else. Kind of like in my situation. I don't live on my own, but I do live with my dad. My brother and I both do. No, using your your children's need for shelter from their parents, like as a weapon like that, or like as an argument against them. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. That's just gonna damage your relationship with your child. Don't do that. Like I said, if parents are just using it as a way to get their children to comply for safety or like behavioral reasons, that's different. But basically telling your child that you don't give a shit about their comfort or their happiness or their boundaries, that is all kinds of fucked up. And you're just gonna damage your relationship with your child. It's gonna cause resentment. Don't do that. I understand that, my dad played a part in it a little bit. Because, he's one of those very rabid family. He's very rabidly family oriented. And, being family oriented, it's mostly a good thing. It is. But, but there are some disadvantages to it if you take it to, like, an intense level. Because, some family oriented people just think their children should do everything with them, no questions asked, without, taking their comfort or their boundaries into regard. That's when it can pose as a harm to the child. Alright, we'll play for one more day. But yeah. Golden Cinnamon Toast Crunch sounds kind of good on a Sunday, but I prefer my Sundays light, so I probably wouldn't order it, honestly. I probably would just order the mocha cream, the chocolate syrup, and the chocolate chips. Oh my god, that looks so good. But yeah. And as for the situation with, me not being able to talk to my mom very much, I've talked to my dad about it before, and he understands the situation with Chris. I don't know if my brother does, though. I feel like my brother can be kind of manipulative from my mom. I mean, not manipulative, manipulated from my mom. I don't want my brother to think I hate my mom. I mean, yeah, I do have some resentment against her. I do have I am weary about keeping contact with her, but, you know, it's more complex than that. You know, there are various reasons as to why I struggle to maintain contact with her on the regular. Alright, yeah. I'll need to buy a well done or a smooth alarm pretty soon. I took that one off just in time. But yeah, I love going out to see a Mimi, but I'm a bit nervous because I overheard my brother and my mom talk about that over the phone too. My dad really wants us to just stay in a hotel, and I think I overheard my brother and my mom talk about how, like, there's gonna be more, because, you know, there might be other family members staying. Oh crap, I don't know, there might be other family members staying with our grandparents, from what my mom and my brother were talking about. And you know, I'm very uncomfortable when I have to share a room with people. It's one of the reasons why I don't like family vacations, is because you have to share a room. And, you know, my dad just cannot understand, to save his life, as to why I'm not uncomfortable with it. He just can't wrap his head around it for some reason. But yeah, since we're running out of time, and I'm about to end off this video. Hold on. One more. I do want to change the topic, but I decided that I'm probably gonna just do, you know, in terms of Papa Louie games, I'm probably just gonna do the deluxe ones for now, because importing them and, you know, or exporting them and, you know, uploading them from my phone is a bit of a pain. It's easier to just do it on the computer. So I'll probably just do a Wingeria reboot when the deluxe version comes out later on down the road. I talked about this in my Island of Happiness episode, but I wanted to bring it up here. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do away with doing to-go Let's Plays and just do deluxe ones. Because there have been a couple of times where I thought I lost my to-go files. I didn't, but I don't want to. But it is a pain to, you know, make sure they are intact. So, yeah. In terms of Papa Louie, yeah, I probably won't do any Let's Plays on my phone. Because it is a bit more of a pain. I mean, if I can, I might do live streams though. You know, I didn't think of that, but I might try to do some live streams with the to-go games, but recordings and premieres, yeah, I'm probably gonna, you know, stray from that. Because, you know, live streams can be a bit of a pain, but they can also be fun. Kind of, you know, just talking to you guys while playing the games and stuff. So, yeah. I'll think about doing live streams with my to-go games, but, you know, regular recording premieres, yeah, I'm better off just doing them on my computer for now. But yeah, back to the family discussion. That's why I've been feeling a bit stressed out because of what's been going on. I'm looking forward to, you know, catching up with my grandparent, you know, on my mom's side, and even my mom. I just hate not, you know, having the privacy, like when I sleep. I get it, you know. It's good to be around family and stuff, but, you know, or just other people as, like, in general. But, and if that's what my dad is, you know, telling me, you know, that I do get. It's just a pain not getting any privacy at all when you're on vacation. Especially, like, when you're sleeping. Oh my god. I cannot stand sleeping with other people. You know, it's... especially if you have to share a bed, which I've been in that position before. Oh my god. Ugh, it's the worst. The worst. Sorry, Captain Corey. It's, my goodness, it's kind of hard sometimes making sure the toppings stay within the cup. Plus, I am worried about my mom starting shit. I'm gonna have a massive, heartfelt, candid discussion with her when we see her over the holidays. I'll try. I don't know if... oh, crap! They didn't want the... Sorry, Utah. I'm used to the blue... I was thinking of the blueberry special I just had. But yeah, I'm gonna have a serious discussion with my mom. I mean, if we're gonna have to be stuck in a hotel for a couple of nights together... I mean, if at least that'll be the best time to do so. But yeah, I'm gonna end it off right here, guys. It was nice talking to you, and I'll talk to you later. I'm probably gonna not record, but premiere the third Island of Happiness episode before I do this. I mean, there are exceptions, but I do usually like to premiere my videos in the same order I recorded them in. Like I said, there are exceptions, but it's what I usually like to do. See you guys later. Goodbye.